right, in this video, I'm going to be doing a recap from January 14th, the day after my absolute disaster day, and how I actually had a pretty good bounce back day and made $1,155. But before I do that, I want to highlight something. My channel just hit 8,000 subscribers, which is so cool. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who subscribes and watches my videos. Trading is very lonely, and a lot of times you're usually sitting by yourself, and there's a lot of ups and downs. So I knew that I probably was not the only person who was trying to figure out this journey. And when you take the leap into trying to trade the stock market, majority of people around you think you're crazy. So I knew that if I put my stuff out there, maybe I can start to connect with like-minded people who are just as crazy as me trying to figure this thing out. And then I took a piece of advice from Gary Vaynerchuk, which is to document, don't create. And I figured that I would just start putting everything out there along the way, all the good, all the bad, and see what happens. And I'm so glad that I did that because it's been really cool to interact and connect with people in the comments of my videos, on my Instagram and Twitter. It just goes to show that there's a lot of like-minded people who are trying to figure the stock market out, whether that be as a trader or as an investor. So I appreciate every single one of you, and I look forward to doing a lot more videos. Now let's talk about something a little bit more important, which is how to deal with a big loss. So January 13th, that was the biggest loss that I've ever taken, and it did not feel good. As a matter of fact, it really sucked. And just like everybody else, I start to experience all those emotions. I get upset. I start to beat myself up. Can't believe I let it get that bad. But the difference is I'm now 4 years in. This isn't the first big loss that I've experienced. And I just put up a great year in 2020. So I have a track record that tells me that I know what I'm doing. So I just try to fall back on that and realize that, hey, at the end of the day, I am a consistently profitable trader and I just made a mistake. I'm human. I'm not perfect. It happens. Now, I definitely let that loss get way too big, but I'm just accepting it for what it is, taking a step back, taking a minor reset, and then realizing that as long as I consistently do everything that I did the prior year and a half, I should be okay. And then I also make sure to stay on top of my game mentally and physically. So make sure to get good sleep, still obviously go to the gym, work out, and just relieve that stress in a healthy way. And similar to a professional athlete, everything outside of trading has to be in a good place so that way mentally I can be on top of my game and continue to execute the way that I know how to do. And that's definitely easier said than done, but like I mentioned before, this isn't my first major loss that I've experienced. It is the biggest by far, so I'm just going back to some of the things that I did when I experienced those losses prior, and also remembering that I have been able to bounce back every time before. And with experience and having gone through it before, you just get better at dealing with it. And the only way to gain experience is obviously time. Stick around long enough to be able to go through the ups and downs and then hopefully be able to break through. And even if you're eventually able to break through, there's still going to be plenty bumps in the road like the one I just had. So it never really gets easier. You just get better at dealing with all the problems. So with that being said, let's get into what I was watching. The watch list was Tesla, Baidu, Baba, JD, BA, and PayPal. Now to get into the technicals, starting with Tesla, it's been in a bit of a channel. And when it's doing this, I just try to keep the technicals as simple as possible. So I focus on prior day's low, which was 832. If it breaks that, maybe there's room to the 9 EMA. Prior day's high, which was 860.47, gets above that. Maybe it makes a new all-time high. And then focus on pre-market high, 847.95, and pre-market low, 837.66. And then just wait and let Tesla tell me what it wants to do and see if it can form some sort of technical pattern, the opening range break, or a flag pattern around those levels. Baidu, a very strong daily chart trending above the 9 EMA, even though it had this nasty red candle, had a very nice green candle the day prior, almost taking it completely out. So still very strong. Some of the levels that I was looking at, prior day's high, 244.20, that prior pivot high, 248.99, clear those, possible more upside, and also pre-market high, 242.66. Baba's been consolidating for a little bit. It still has an open gap to the upside. It had a nice gap up today. It was clearing this prior pivot high, this 243.39. So that was a main level that I was looking to trade around. And also pre-market high, 245.45. Clear those and it could possibly start to work its way into that upside gap. JD, not super clean, but still a very strong chart. Trading above the 9 EMA. It gapped above this prior consolidation right here. That prior pivot high was 91.60, so that was one of the levels I was interested in trading around. And also pre-market high, 91.96. BA, not super clean, but it has been trading in a channel for a very long time. It had the gap up this morning. It was trading just above the 9 EMA, so maybe this could be a day one move out of that. Some of the levels that I liked was this prior pivot high right here, 209.06, and pre-market high, 210. PayPal looked pretty good, just made a new all-time high. Nice period of consolidation, broke out of that big day one move off the 9, off the 20. So I was looking for a possible second day continuation play. The levels I wanted to trade around was that prior day's high, which also would have been a new all-time high, 247.44, and pre-market high 249. Now let's get into the trades, and this is going to be good because it goes to show that sometimes I don't take trades very quick off the open. I mean, majority of my trades, the bread and butter, usually come within the first 30 minutes. But if nothing looks really good to me off the open, I have no problem just sitting back, waiting, and then seeing if there's going to be a very good setup that comes a little bit later in the day. And that's exactly what happened. And of course, it happened on my good friend Tesla. So high days, 849.70. Nice consolidation close to the 9 EMA, the 20. Nice big 1 minute candle. Just broke that prior high. So I got long right there at 849. 3 850 call contracts anticipating that high day. And look at that move. That is showing buyers are clearly in control. So it was very fast, but the tape started to speed up like crazy. And once it cleared that high day, it was off. So I took small size because yesterday obviously got really beat up. There's no need to press it. 3 contracts filled at 14.57. I am now clearly in the money. So I just want to try to give this a minute to see if we can get one more momentum push. But I do not want to let these contracts go red now. I really hate when I am green on a trade and I let it go red. So I'm always keeping an eye on those contracts. That was a very nice move. Just broke high a day, close to the gap fill area. So now I'm just hanging on to this to see if it can get one more push. Gets through 852, right up into 853. Very strong. Buyers are clearly in control. A little bit of a topping candle right there. Probably an area where I should have taken profits, but I wanted to give it a chance because we all know when Tesla gets going, sometimes it can go a lot further than anybody anticipates, but clearly starting to show a little bit of weakness. So now if this pulls back, I'm just going to get out of the trade. It gets back below 852, starting to show just a little bit of weakness on that candle, and I don't want to be a part of the pullbacks. I can always reevaluate the trade again if it sets up. Pulls back and I just get out of the trade right there for $343. So here's the next setup that I see. Tesla had the nice push, consolidated for a handful of minutes, nice flag pattern, high days 853.86, also possible red to green move. I want to anticipate the break of high a day, so I get long right there, 3 contracts, filled at 17.24, want to see the break, nice break through the whole number, 854, closes the upside gap. Starts to struggle at that previous day close line. Really wanted to see that go a little faster. We all know that when Tesla gets going, it can go really fast, so I end up just taking the position off right there for a quick gain. And of course, had I been a little bit more patient, that was the move that I missed out on. But once again, I'm a scalper, so if I just get the quick move and it's not going as fast as I want, I have no problem just taking it, and then I can always reevaluate again. So Tesla just kept putting in nice, clean flag patterns, and I took a handful more trades and just took the quick pops every single time. Unfortunately, this is all I got recorded, but I'll go through and show some of those setups, and then I took a picture of my P&L at the end of the day. So here's the rest of the intraday chart up to where I stopped trading. So I actually happened to catch this quick flag right here above the 9, handful of minutes of consolidation, broke out, took the quick move, and I actually tried to take the high day break right here, and because I was trading smaller, I was able to get out for basically flat. So I did not hold it and deal with any issues. Trading smaller helped, didn't go as quick as I wanted, and just bailed on it. And as you can see, this 860 was a major area of resistance. Also knowing that 860.47 was above, just wanted to wait for the break. Had a pretty nasty pullback. Buyers bought this up right away, clearly showing that they are still in control. And when it got right up to that level, I ended up taking 3 contracts and just taking this crazy rip higher for a little over a 2-point move. And after that, I decided to call it because I was starting to take a decent amount of trades and I didn't want to give anything back. And after an absolute disaster day, had a very nice bounce back day and made $1,155. So even though there's a lot more work to be done, this was a great start and a big boost to my confidence. It reminded me that I clearly know what I'm doing. I just happened to slip up and have a really bad day. And it's pretty incredible because I made $11.55 and the biggest position size that I took was 3 contracts. So it just proves to me that I can put up a decent day without having to trade big size. And that's exactly what I'm going to do moving forward. Just trade smaller size, focus on those high probability setups, and take it one day at a time. And that's it. That was the recap of my day after my absolute disaster day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.